Alright guys, I'm back with another video. So first off, I wanted to show you, I am on a dedicated server, by the way, and you'll see that the aiming is pretty smooth on both the client and the player on the other side. So you'll also notice that the projectiles are actually going in the correct direction now, and that actually the reason why it was so difficult for me to figure out why that wasn't working was because I'd never seen that problem before, and that problem was actually caused by this plugin. So the character position is not actually being replicated properly with this smooth sync, and that's why I told everybody, you know, if if you can't wait until 5.5, then and you get one of these plugins, you're just going to be wasting your money. These plugins are expensive. They're overpriced. They all revolve around the hype behind motion matching. They knew that nobody wanted to wait until 5.5. These are not properly replicating motion matching. This is just a patch, and you're definitely not going to want to publish a game with one of these plugins. I'm just putting that out there now. Nothing against the guys who made it. They put in work and they figured out a way to get around the issue temporarily. But just know that if you go and spend $100 or whatever on one of these plugins, you're just wasting your money. So I'm just going to put that out there right now. They're not replicating it properly. And if you didn't know this, let me just come over here. So if I go to the event graph, and let me find out, generate trajectory, right? So we have this trajectory right here, and it may look empty right here, but if I go to the blueprint debugger and I just say trajectory, and ooh, is it lagging? Let me see here. It's just not letting me expand it. Oh, let me choose one of these guys here. So you'll see that this is why I say that they're doing it wrong. There are 46 entries, guys. There are 46 entries in this trajectory. They are replicating that array of 46 entries every tick. Okay? That's what these plugins are doing. They're replicating an array with 46 points inside of it. Maybe more in some cases. It depends on the circumstances. It could be more, it could be less, but they're definitely replicating that array, and that's not the proper way to do it. The reason why the character movement component currently doesn't support it is because it doesn't support replicating acceleration, and that's what's missing from the character movement component. Because they've never needed acceleration to be replicated in the past until now. And so they're addressing that with their new character movement component, their mover 2.0 or whatever it's called, and it'll be replacing the character movement component. It'll be more robust, it'll be more flexible. It won't require a character class blueprint or a pawn or whatever. It'll be able to be set up, I believe, on any actor, from my understanding. But yeah, so anyway, I just wanted to get that out of the way. That's a brief disclosure on that. Now, I do have this weak server validation, but it won't work with this plugin because, of course, like I told you, the location is not replicated. And I'll go ahead and show you that just so you understand. So if it's false, let me just print string. Actually, I could do a format text. I like using this format text. And then I will just print that out. And that, of course, will only print out whenever we're outside of 100 centimeters from where the dedicated server thinks that we are. And so you'll see now it's printing this out. And the reason why is because the smooth sync is not updating the character's position. And so the character is still way over here. And see, there you go. So, yeah. So on a dedicated server, and the reason why is because replicate movement is disabled. But anyway, so how did I fix the projectiles? Basically, I had to send the socket location and the held object forward vector from the client through to the server. And so I'm piping this through to here, which pipes it through to here, which pipes it through to here. So just so you know, this is not replicated if you choose to use the camera-based one. Right now I'm basing it off of this. So it's up to you if you want to use, that, just follow the instructions. All you have to do is pipe it through just like those other two variables. On this right here, I'm no longer using this. I'm just using the one that I'm sending in from there. So, which is just the held objects. It's actually the held object's right vector, because the held object, if you look in the viewport, well, you can't see it right now because the weapon R bone isn't animated, and so it's going to be facing back this way. But whenever we're holding an object, that red arrow will be pointing forward, and that red arrow is actually the right. That's actually right. Green is forward. So green will be pointing this way, and red will be pointing that way. And so that's the reason why I am using the actual right vector instead of the forward vector here. But I have it labeled as the forward vector just so you know it's the vector that points forward. But yeah, that's basically the rundown on that. I must have replaced this, and I just simply forgot to remove that. Yeah, and so I have fixed the weapon fire cooldown. So before KD had a delay, and then he had it firing. Now it fires, and then it does a cooldown. After this action cooldown time, it'll reset this cooldown variable right here. And I'm actually, yeah, I'm doing it right here too. So I'm using a notify right here, and yeah, that's going to confuse the hell out of people. So let me see here. If I go to the fight and the actions, and I haven't pushed to these, and let me just open up one of these montages. You'll see we have a montage notify. You can go to add notify and scroll down, and you'll see right here montage notify. And if you add that, it'll show that little weird icon, whatever that's supposed to be. I guess it's supposed to be nodes connected together. I don't know. It's not very clear what it's supposed to be, but anyway, so that actually is what comes out of here and fires these events right here. A lot of people probably don't know that. I've actually figured it out on my own, but there's probably videos out there on it. But anyway, I've just gotten to the point where I don't really watch videos that often. So yeah, so if it's the reset cooldown timer, and we can go back here, and if we select this, you'll see that the notify name is reset cooldown. and so those names have to match right here, or else this will never be true. So that's two different ways you can handle it right there. You could also have that on the weapon fire animation, but I don't see a point in having it on the weapon fire animation. However, on the melee attack animations, it does make sense because there's a point at which, you know, it's okay to go ahead and start playing another one. And you'll see I left this connected here, which isn't actually being used anymore either. So that brings me to the fight stance here. And you'll see I added a left gut punch or hook or jab or whatever you want to call it. I'm not a fighter, so I don't watch MMA. So now in actuality, the left one is actually punching out further than the right one. I didn't realize that until I brought it in. I'll probably redo these animations at some point. But in actuality, like I said before on the Discord, this doesn't have a lot of functionality. If you can't fire them whenever you're moving, then I mean, somebody's not going to just stand still for you so you can beat them up. You know what I mean? So I'm going to rethink my approach to this entire fighting thing here, and I'll probably do it differently. I may go ahead and leave this one in here, and I may just like extend it, but then I may have like an alternative version of this at a later date. The fighting thing, but the next fighting one it'll probably just have them in this regular idle pose because I think that makes more sense. But yeah, so there's that. I fixed some other things too. I actually didn't make any notes on what all I fixed, unfortunately. So, and you'll see I can't fire right now because I'm too far away. So if I wanted to, I would have to bypass this server validation since the server is not being updated on his location. Actually, let's just hook that back up. I want to make sure that it's not just on a dedicated server. So I'm going to go over here to listen server, and I'll play as a listen server. Yeah, so let's see. Yeah, there you go. So it's not being updated at all, guys. His location, the server is not being updated on his location. So now you know. I tried to warn you guys. Just saying. Uh, you gotta have some patience sometimes, especially when it comes. That's why I didn't really want to mess with this stuff because of that reason. Yeah. So sometimes it seems like it gets stuck waiting for an extended period of time. I'm not really sure what's causing that. I'll look into that to find. Oh, you know what? I think it's because whenever we turn, you see he pulls his hand back. Now remember, I added some logic in there that says, okay, you can't actually fire the weapon until you're fully aiming, and I'm not sure if you remember that, but let's see right here. So we're checking the anim layer instance to see if he's fully blended into the aim ready state. And if he is, then we can fire. So whenever it seems like he's not firing, that's probably why. You can always take that little arm pull thing out. It's easy for you to change this stuff around now. So yeah, there is some latency here that I believe is directly related to smooth sync. I'm not sure why I called it smooth sync because it doesn't seem too smooth to me. Just saying. Nah, it's not that bad. I mean, I give the guy props for what he did manage to do. I wouldn't have been able to do it, or maybe I could have. I don't know. I didn't try. But anyway, let's see. So what else did I change? Let me go to the Discord because I made some cooldown on pistol rifle, right? Aim offset replication. One-handed pistol aim looks odd. Okay, yeah, I fixed that. So, and I added that left punch to the fighting stance. So that basically covers all the changes I've made. I may start trying to work on some AI. Now, I've never set up AI with this, so I've heard that other people have had trouble trying to set it up. So I may have some trouble with it as well, just so you know. So that's a little heads up there. I don't remember if yeah, I did. I covered that. So all that stuff is being piped through now. A dedicated server has no access to this stuff. I'm not 100% sure if that's because we have replicate movement disabled, but we have to disable it for the smooth sync, and that replicate movement may very well be the reason why this isn't working. I didn't really investigate it that deep. I just realized, you know what, it's not working, so let's just pipe it through from the client, and it worked. So that's basically it, guys. I'll see you in the next video.